You know what you're watching. DS Learning Finance. Whoa.
You know how I managed to filter down to a group of stocks second time round for my second investment to invest in? I finally found a company, yes, that I'm very, very interested in. It's called JD Sports. And if you guys are based in the UK and you're watching this and you don't know what JD Sports is, then boy, you know what, it's peak for you guys. Like, how can you not know what JD Sports is? But if you're outside of the UK, I understand. I'll allow you in it. Just about allow you, because JD Sports is massive company within the UK, let alone within Europe. But yeah, onto the nitty gritty, financial sheets, which is the most important thing I like to look at whenever I'm filtering through a stock. Keyword, filtering. Yeah, so I don't just judge from the financial sheets, but it allows me to screen through all the nonsensical nonsense companies that I shouldn't be interested in to also find the companies that are worthwhile me researching further in. So with that said, JD Sports Fashion, they have a good financial status right now. Just to put things into perspective, the revenues have been increasing for the past 4 years. The profits have been increasing for the past 4 years. And you guys know how I talk so much about the balance sheet. The balance sheet is the most important financial sheet out of the three, out of income, balance sheet and cash flow. Balance sheet is the most important. And what I like to focus on in particular is to make sure that the company's got enough assets, enough current short-term assets and long-term assets to cover their short-term and long-term debts. Because it basically tells you how financially stable the company is. And with that said, JD Sports, they have not that much long-term assets, but they've got such a big short-term asset amount that they can cover their short-term debts and their long-term debts too, several times over. We're talking like 10 times over. So they've got more money than they know what to do with it, and that's a good sign. Your boy's happy for now. But I've got a little something to tell you guys. Yeah, JD Sports, they don't do dividends. Yeah. Normally, investors use dividends as a buffer to counteract for those dark times where your investment might not be doing as good. On average, dividends tends to be within the 3 to 5% range. So if you've invested in a stock and it pays a dividend for 3%, then you know, cool, if the stock goes down in terms of 3%, you're going to be just about okay, because you've got that 3% dividend to obviously buffer you back up again. Granted, ignoring inflation obviously, but yeah, dividends is often used as a sort of safety margin, a risk management tool. But with JD Sports, yeah, that's completely gone. Literally bare bones, like no dividend, no, nothing. But that doesn't necessarily mean that just because a stock doesn't pay dividend, you shouldn't pay attention to it. It can actually be the reverse, because when you think about it, dividends is money that a company takes from its profits or its losses if it's not doing well. Yeah. But obviously the investments that we like to involve ourselves, or we like to think we're involved in, we want those companies to be making a profit. So nonetheless, dividends is the money that is normally taken from profits and given to investors for saying, hey, thanks for believing in us, thanks for putting your money in us. Instead of doing that, they can just be sending that money straight back into that company. And who's to say, from the company's perspective, not yours, yeah, not the investors, the company's perspective, what is the best thing to do? It could very well be giving out dividends, because maybe that might attract more investors to therefore bring in new money into that company. But also that could be to the detriment of that company. Maybe it might be too much money that the company can't really utilize it effectively. There might not be enough money so that the company definitely won't be able to use it properly. All of that could affect its behavior in the long run. What you could also say, instead of that company giving out dividends to its investors, why not send that money back into the company and fully utilize it? It might be used to reduce debts, it might be used to increase research, And who knows, a year from now, maybe that could be the driving factor that means that JD Sports makes an even bigger profit and even bigger revenue. So all of these factors play into account, and ultimately there's no one size fits all. But what I do know about the stock market is that there's multiple ways to make money. There are very well dividend stocks out there, but there are also equally as many stocks out there that don't pay dividend. And who's to say in the future that JD Sports might not offer dividends? And when they do offer dividends, and I'm still in it, yeah, I'm gonna be rich. Well, I know I'm gonna be rich, but you guys get what I'm gonna be richer. And also another interesting fact that I found out about JD Sports is that they recently merged with Finish Line. Finish Line, for those of you that don't know, are big in the US. Yep, they're big. Finish Line in the US sell athletic footwear across the whole US. And when I mean the whole, I'm not exaggerating. The whole. Yeah, they have 660 shops in 47 states. Now, for those of you that ain't good at geography, like me, wasn't good at it, there are 50 states in the US, and for Finish Line to have at least one shop on average in each state, it's a good amount of coverage that JD Sports is going to be exposed to. To be specific, on average is 13 shops per state. So they have 13 shops in each state, 13 shops in Ohio. Yeah, you get the point. Now granted, one shop can be 200 miles away from the next shop, yeah? Because this is America, it's big scale, everything big. Yeah, it could be, but nonetheless, if JD Sports wants to break into the US market and other markets, the best thing for them to do is literally get the maximum amount of exposure, the maximum amount of coverage over the whole market. And there's no better way to do that than literally spread your seeds out wide. That's what they're basically planning to do. And from a branding and advertising perspective, JD Sports seem to be propelling themselves forward. They've got influential people like Anthony Joshua, the world heavyweight boxing champion, yeah? In the world, wearing their products. Every time he's doing a boxing advert, guess what he's wearing? JD. Every time he's on the toilet taking a dump, guess what he's wearing? JD. Okay, maybe not then, but when the camera's on, he's basically representing JD to the fullest. There are going to be tons of people thinking, you know what, I want to be like Anthony Joshua, or I want to be even better. But I see that he's wearing that night top. You know what, I actually like that night top. Or that Adidas trousers. Yeah man, I'm kind of feeling that. There are going to be tons of people like that, buying into JD and therefore funneling more money for the company, more income, more revenue, which is a good thing. And not to only stop there, but they've also got a lot of ties with football teams. And football is the biggest sport in the world. I'm sorry people to burst your bubble. It is football, yeah? Let's be real here, it's football. And they've got big boy teams like Arsenal. Need I say anymore? But I will. They've got Arsenal, they've got Real Madrid, they've got Barca, they've got Man City, I believe, and Chelsea. They've got big teams that they're associated with and obviously do a lot of sponsorship with. And therefore, same thing as Anthony Joshua. A lot of kids see the football players wearing those shirts, they're like, you know what, I want to get that shirt. Happens every year, year in, year out. And this also will be making JD tons of money in the future. All of those things combined together and more is what's really interested me in diving in deeper, researching into JD Sports. And you guys know what that means. 10Ks, 10Qs, conference calls, presentations, all of that stuff, news. Yeah, I've got to dive in deeper and read. You all know how I like reading those 200 plus documents. Yeah. Whoop-de-doo. Tons of fun. It's your favourite YouTuber, guys, Dami Solario. I talk about stock market investments, property investments, financial management too. Giving you that consistent content, you know? Before you can go about doing whatever you're going to do for the rest of the day. Like, subscribe and share. DS Learning Finance. Whoa, whoa,
Whoa.
Bye. Ha!